Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien, content de vous retrouver pour un petit let's play découverte cette fois sur The Forgotten City. Donc c'est un jeu qui est sorti le 28 juillet 2021. Donc c'est un jeu d'aventure, voyage dans le temps, mystère, RPG, exploration, choix multiples, enquête, riche en récits, première personne, fins multiples, super BO, philosophique. Donc il est noté sur Steam extrêmement positif. L'interface et les sous-titres sont en français et l'audio uniquement en anglais malheureusement. C'est un jeu totalement en solo. Alors pour la petite histoire du jeu, The Forgotten City est un jeu d'aventure énigmatique mêlant exploration et déduction. C'est une version revisitée du mode acclamé par la critique qui a remporté un prix national de la Winters Guild et qui a été téléchargé plus de 3 millions de fois. Le combat est une option, mais la violence ne vous mènera pas loin. Ce n'est qu'en interrogeant une communauté de personnages hauts en couleur, en exploitant intelligemment la boucle temporelle et en faisant des choix moraux difficiles que vous pouvez espérer résoudre ce mystère épique. Ici, vos décisions ont des conséquences. Le destin de la cité est entre vos mains. Explorez une cité romaine antique dans un monde ouvert à l'architecture, à l'art, aux costumes historiquement authentiques. Enquêtez sur un mystère captivant en perpétuelle évolution et aux dénouements multiples. Liez-vous avec des personnages très détaillés et profondément interactifs. Faites face à des dilemmes moraux aux conséquences potentielles tragiques. Incarnez le personnage que vous souhaitez. Choisissez son sexe, son origine et son histoire. Résolvez les problèmes en faisant usage de raison, de charme, de corruption, d'intimidation, de violence ou en exploitant intelligemment la boucle temporelle. Donc vous voyez un petit peu le délire quand même, il y a pas mal de choses à faire. Alors il faut savoir que vous ne pouvez pas tuer dans le jeu, ni voler les gens. Sinon vous verrez, ils se transformeront en statues complètement dorées et ce sera la fin du jeu. Donc il ne faut pas reproduire cette erreur en fait, c'est comme ça que la cité a été perdue en fait. Vous allez comprendre tout de suite de quoi on parle dès qu'on va commencer à jouer. Donc je vous souhaite à tous un bon visionnage et je pense faire peut-être 4-5 épisodes pour cette série découverte. Donc j'espère que ça va vous plaire. Et on est parti.
Hey, you're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Alors c'est là qu'on va créer notre perso. Donc on va prendre un mec, hein, bien sûr. Couleur blanche, hein, de toute façon. Et Praetorians, on va l'appeler. On va l'appeler comme ça, Praetorians Gaming.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember?
Alors on a plusieurs choix, donc archéologue, soldat, en fuite et amnésique, vous rendant 50% plus difficile à vaincre. Ouais, on gagne des bonus en fonction de ce qu'on prend, donc grâce au temps passé à fuir les autorités, vous êtes rapide et allez 25% plus vite lorsque vous courez. Ok. Alors je préférerais plutôt la version archéologue pour vraiment avoir des perspectives dans le monde antique. Ça nous permettra d'étudier l'histoire en fait sur le monde antique qu'on est en train d'explorer. Donc je pense que c'est mieux de prendre archéologue, hein, tout simplement. Allez, on prend ça.
Oh, you're an archaeologist? Then you'll definitely want to hear this. I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for, but there are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or injured or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him. So I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping You wouldn't mind going in there to find him? If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please?
Ok, bien sûr, on va l'aider.
Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. I just... What do you want to know? Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean? Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you. All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen. You're welcome. Always happy to help. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is. You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber. Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me. Great. So you're ready to go look for Al? My hero. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Ok, la lampe torche, très utile. On prend bien sûr. Alors, utilisez les ZQSD pour vous déplacer, d'accord. Donc les ruines sont là-bas. Et est-ce qu'elle nous suit, elle? Non, je pense pas. On pourrait se déplacer. Alors, entrer dans les ruines. Donc là, ouais, déjà, on voit des colonnes. Ça fait très romain, en tout cas. Allez, on va progresser ici. Et on va découvrir un petit peu la map. Ça, c'est quoi ça? Un sac à dos rempli de vêtements de randonnée utilisés et de sachets de nourriture vides. Il ne contient rien de valeur, mais il est tout de même étrange que Hal l'ait abandonné. Ok, il n'est pas abîmé du tout. On va le poser. Et du coup, on va regarder un petit peu ce qu'il y a. Il n'y a rien derrière. Alors dans ces jeux-là, j'aime bien prendre mon temps et de fouiller un petit peu partout. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il y a là?
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground.
Dissimulé profondément sous terre.
Its existence is long forgotten. All knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads,
Oula. On est tombé comme dans un espèce de trou là. Terme romain.
Step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain. For this shall be their final resting place.
Je peux pas allumer ma lampe torche là.
Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time?
Par là, on va bien voir.
Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation, or a warning. Al Worth,
Ah, voilà. Donc il y a plein de statues comme ça, vous pouvez voir, hein, qui sont dorées. Et c'est ça qu'il va falloir résoudre comme énigme. Pourquoi les statues sont dorées et posées n'importe comment, en fait. On dirait que c'est des gens qui ont été transformés en statues, tout simplement. Une pose plaintive, ouais, on voit. C'est très bizarre. Là, on dirait qu'il essaye de fuir. Qu'est-ce qu'il a pu faire fuir un gladiateur? Ouais, il est en train de courir. Alors ça, c'est pas normal. Vous voyez, il y a quelque chose qui s'est passé ici. Donc on va essayer de résoudre cette énigme, hein, bien sûr. Alors, heureusement qu'on a la lampe, hein, parce que franchement... F5 pour sauvegarder. Donc on va sauvegarder, bien sûr. Si c'est demandé, c'est qu'il va se passer quelque chose. Donc là, par exemple, vous voyez, là, il est par terre, et ça, c'est pas normal. On dirait que là, il a peur, il a pris peur, en fait, de quelque chose qui se passe. Ouais, je le ressens aussi comme ça, quand je vois les statues. On dirait que tout le monde fuit quelque chose, et... quelque chose de tragique s'est passé. C'est assez intriguant. Alors déjà, on a des murmures. Que faites-vous ici? Et là, on a carrément quelqu'un qui est pendu. Alors, des vêtements modernes, il s'agit d'Al. Mais comment est-ce possible? Alors ça, c'est vrai que c'est un peu bizarre. Pourquoi il aurait été pendu, lui, à cette époque?
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this.
Lire la tablette de pierre.
She'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only two options. Death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried.
Trouver la porte vers
I
le
really
passé.
tried.
Ok, et ça va nous ramener vers le passé apparemment. Brique est vide.
Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all
C'est ce
now.
dont Al a dû se servir pour allumer toutes ces torches. Ok. Et on va se trouver aspiré par le portail et c'est là qu'on va commencer véritablement notre périple. Donc c'est parti. Direction le passé. Et voilà, on arrive ici. Donc franchir le portail vers le passé, c'est fait. Et là, on est arrivé dans la Rome antique. Donc avec des vrais PNJ là maintenant cette fois, et plus des statues. Trouvez un moyen de retourner à votre époque. Alors, il s'appelle Galerius, ok.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Alors si je lui dis ça, elle va me prendre pour un fou. Alors je vais lui demander déjà à propos du sanctuaire de Proserpine.
Yeah, you know, agricultural goddess of springtime? You're not from around here, are you? Oh, I
oui, pas
see
vraiment,
what you
oui.
did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you, and what were you doing in the shrine?
Je vais lui dire, attendez, vous parlez anglais?
What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. And you've just done it again. You're a sly one, aren't you? One more time. Who are you and what were you doing in that shrine?
Tiens vraiment à savoir qui je suis. Bah, on va essayer de mentir, hein, tout simplement, parce que là, il va me prendre pour un fou.
Oh, is that right? Well, just make sure you don't get lost in any other sacred places you're not supposed to be. Can't have you disrespecting the gods by accident, can we now? But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you.
Ah, ce serait pas
Live
mal,
by
ouais.
our law here,
Respectez la
and we'll
loi,
all
et nous
get
nous
along
entendrons bien.
just fine.
Ok, les lois.
Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific.
Yeah,
But
so
our
horrible.
magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming?
Ok, bah, on va le suivre. Allez,
When I
c'est
first
parti.
arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now. Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in if
C'est
you're
vraiment
not
très beau en
careful.
tout cas le jeu, très fluide.
Aren't you going to
Les
introduce me
graphismes
to
sont
your
en épique, hein, de toute
handsome
façon.
new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her if I were you. She's, it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... Well, you know, I don't know
Il
what
y a pas
happened
mal
to her.
d'exploration à faire.
Up
hein,
here on
je
your
pense.
right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived,
C'est
and what we've
magnifique.
been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Hilarious. You're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please.
Oh, c'est trop d'honneur ça. Je pensais pas que j'étais un personnage VIP, mais super. Alors on va lui dire, c'est à quel sujet?
I expect the magistrate wants to brief you about the golden
La
rule.
règle d'or.
It
Ok.
shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election later
Attends
today.
l'élection de ce soir. Bon, bah,
Follow me. The
va
only
le
thing you
suivre.
really need to understand right now is the golden rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion,
Alors avec eux, on peut le suivre. J'ai rien à faire en fait. Ils se
the
déplacent
legate
tout
in
seul mon
charge
perso. Je peux
wouldn't
regarder
waste
tous les
time finding
environs.
the bad apples
Ça
among
c'est plutôt
hundreds.
cool.
They just divided us
C'est
into
vraiment
groups
bien
of 10.
travaillé. Alors, regardez ça, les
Made us draw
graphismes.
straws.
Très joli.
Whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the
On
other night.
explorera après, hein,
Didn't
sur
matter
la
whether
maison.
he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it
Destination.
decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock.
Don't mind me.
Because the
I
golden
just
rule
live here.
is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. He's up these stairs.
Très joli. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut lui dire?
Ugh, this place has become a thoroughfare. Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here.
Elle me prend pour un
What do you
barbare.
want? You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent God would let my sister go missing on his or her watch? Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought. I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving. I suppose we will. I'm Cynthia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and
Ok, c'est
introduced
sa fille aînée,
properly.
d'accord.
What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that?
Ces étranges vêtements. Alors, je ne suis pas d'ici.
Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation? Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone. I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies?
On va essayer d'enquêter déjà. Hein. On va commencer.
It was 3 weeks ago.
Ah, quand
We
même, ouais,
ate
3
our
semaines.
evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy, in love. We went into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it.
Ok. Voilà, apparemment oui. Hein,
I
celle qui est
think so,
amoureuse.
yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me. Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a rumor about her attachment to some mystery man might have ruined those plans.
Ok.
I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience. All I know is, whoever he is, he's still here in the city. You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Scintilla.
Ok.
Why? Because I'm on this couch and not pacing about the villa, wasting energy. I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow pleased with her disappearance. If you must know, I'm here because my father has forbidden me from leaving the villa. I couldn't bear to lose you too, he says, as if he loves me, and not because he needs at least one daughter he can trade off.
Ok.
So you'll help me find her?
On va essayer de la retrouver. Hein.
Oh, thank you. You should probably take a look through her room. It's the one just by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of us missed.
Près de la porte d'entrée. Ok.
Thanks.
On ira voir
I'd
après.
appreciate it.
Ok. Allez, on va aller voir le magistrat. Apparemment, il est là. Magistrat Sentius.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
Alors, je m'appelle Praetorians.
A curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of a man of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community. Equitia will be delighted to meet you, I'm sure. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago.
Alors, on va dire c'est magnifique, hein, franchement.
Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without
Ah oui,
sin?
ça c'est rare.
Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we
Ouais,
can
c'est une
gather,
sorte de
breaking the
malédiction.
law here
Celui
will
qui enfreint la
anger
loi,
the gods
il se
and
passera
provoke
justement
a terrible punishment.
une
Like
catastrophe.
the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold.
Et voilà ce qui s'est passé, c'est la malédiction de Méduse
The golden rule.
et de Midas
It's
cumulé.
extraordinary
Ok.
that we've survived as long as we have, and each day
C'est pour ça les
I grow
statues en
more
or
and
que je vous
more
parlais.
afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the golden rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away.
Alors, il y a beaucoup de questions qu'on peut lui poser, donc qu'est-ce qui est considéré comme un péché ici?
An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined wrong?
Bon, les crimes et
Of
les
course,
vols, de toute
everyone
façon, c'est
agrees
sûr.
on the basics. No theft, no assault, and
D'agresser
certainly no
également,
murder.
ok.
But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries. I'm glad you agree. The key things to remember are that we have laws forbidding treason and blasphemy, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson and so on. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you. You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you?
Je te le fais pas dire, ouais. 2000 ans dans le futur.
2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please, tell me, In your time, what did you see? What had become of us? Of this city?
Bah, il va pas être déçu de la réponse. Hein. Vous auriez pu tous finir en statue dorée.
I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times. But it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it. All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future?
Alors, j'ai vu des restes humains dans le temple.
I assumed that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you? Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for.
Ok.
Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me, well, it pains me to say my
On va jouer le rôle de
attempts to impose
détective,
order
hein,
have
essayer
not
de
earned me many friends.
d'en savoir plus.
I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only
Essayer
treat
d'aider la
my
population
curiosity
également.
with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
Ok.
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation,
Mieux ce sera.
the better.
Ok.
If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the golden rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense? Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule? Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city.
Allez enquêter dans la
Talk to
cité,
everyone.
d'accord. Parler à tout le monde,
If
aidez-les
win their
même.
trust.
C'est là pour
I
faire
authorize
gagner
you
de
to enter
l'influence,
private
je sais
homes
pas
and
quoi.
inspect
J'ai pas eu le temps.
possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately.
Ok.
Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia
Le sanctuaire
at the
d'Apollon
shrine of
au
Apollo
forum.
in the forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Ok, on va aller voir Lucretia. C'est à 69 mètres. Ok, alors on va profiter un petit peu de la vue là sur son balcon. Regardez ça. C'est magnifique. Dommage qu'il y ait ce petit brouillard là, au loin. C'est vraiment très beau. Alors on va pouvoir aussi consulter Tab. Ok. Donc ça c'est les quêtes actives et celles qu'on a terminées. On a les indices également, donc pour la disparition, par exemple. Donc découvrir ce qui est arrivé à Scintilla. Et on doit fouiller sa chambre. Donc on va essayer de voir ça. Ok, ça marche. Donc déjà, on va fouiller la chambre de Scintilla pendant qu'on est là. On va faire ça. Et après, on ira faire la quête, justement. Donc là, qu'est-ce qu'on a de beau à fouiller? Ah! On a des deniers, d'accord. Donc on va pas en chourer. On va surtout pas chourer les deniers, tout ça. Note de Scintilla. De la part de Scintilla à l'intention de Sentius. Il va vous protéger, à vous guider. Ok. Donc il n'y a rien d'autre. Non, rien d'intéressant ici. Donc on va redescendre. Ah, il y a sa sœur, mais ça va rien donner quand on fait ça. Tiens, je vais essayer de vous guider. Ok, donc en maintenant X, on peut voir où est-ce qu'il faut fouiller. Donc la chambre est juste là-bas. Donc là, le four. Ok. Qu'est-ce qu'on a là? Pelle. Elle sent la cendre. Ok. On pourra peut-être emprunter après une pelle ici. Ça, faut s'en rappeler en tout cas. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on a là? Fleurs et d'huile. Okay. On peut pas lire le papier. Le buste. Sculpture d'Arès, le dieu de la guerre grecque, connu sous le nom de Mars par les Romains. Ok. Il n'y a rien d'intéressant là. Note de Sentia. Les secrets les plus intimes. Ok, qu'est-ce qui se passe après? C'est secret. Ok, il n'y a rien d'autre. Miroir en laiton. Ok, il y a des deniers, d'accord. Ça va nous intéresser. Et ça, c'est la chambre de sa sœur qui a disparu. Donc il y a une note. Peau d'encre. De suie et d'eau. Fleurs et d'huile. Ok, il n'y a rien d'autre d'intéressant là. Des deniers. Ok, et il y a une petite note ici. Donc la note. Devoir vous abandonner ainsi, mais j'ai trouvé un moyen de m'échapper et j'ai décidé d'en profiter. J'espère vous revoir un jour. Ok, donc elle est vivante. Donc c'est elle-même qui a décidé de partir, en fait. Donc je vais peut-être en parler à sa sœur, justement. On va essayer de résoudre un petit peu cette quête.
What have you discovered? What? Really? I swear, I searched her room top to bottom and never saw that. I wonder how I could have missed it. Strange, but well done, I suppose. But it's odd. It was only a few months ago that Sentilla's friend Yulia let slip she was planning an escape of her own. And yet, Yulia's still here. You should go and speak with her. Find out if she knows anything. She lives in the villa next door.
Ok, ça c'est fait. Et demandez que Lulia vous parle du plan d'évasion de Santilia. Ok, eh bien, on va y aller. C'est par là qu'on sort ou c'est de l'autre côté? Je ne sais plus. C'est tellement grand là-dedans. Ok, je crois que c'est le petit jardin de la maison principale. Ouais, c'est là qu'on ressort. Ok.
Citizen.
Allez, on va aller voir le forum là-bas. Donc, disparition. C'est ce qui est arrivé à Sentilla. Ok. Et on va aller la retrouver au temple là-bas. Sanctuaire d'Apollon.
Fresh meat, huh? What were you two talking about?
On dirait un gladiateur, lui.
Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he offering you? Money? Favours? What's your vote worth to him? What else would you be murmuring about on election day? Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you've sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it? Good, then stay out of it. Nobody likes Caput Murday foreigners interfering in an election. Can't hurt. The name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus, you go through me. Why? Because I am a gladiator. That's why. You want to see me fight? Keep running your mouth, fatuous cunners. I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected.
Je pense qu'elle a assez duré et que Malleolus y mettra un terme quand il sera élu.
He's going to announce it in his victory speech. Just you wait and see. 'Cause if I tell you, and it gets out, it'll give old man Sentius a chance to interfere in our plans. And we can't have that.
Il est un petit peu suspect ce mec-là parce qu'on dirait qu'il veut tuer après le magistrat, j'ai l'impression.
Old man Sentius got you already, did he? Well, I'm not talking to people in his faction. Confortuare.
Ok. Donc un peu suspect, hein. Bon, maintenant on sait comment il s'appelle, Domitius, donc on verra bien. Et on va se diriger du côté du sanctuaire d'Apollon. Donc ouais, même là, à cette époque, vous voyez, il y a déjà des statues qui sont dorées. Et ça, c'est pas normal. Il s'est passé quelque chose. Donc, le sanctuaire est juste là. On va y aller. Allez, allons voir le sanctuaire d'Apollon. On est parti. Qui c'est qu'on a ici? Instruments médicaux. À l'allure barbare, donc des pinces et des cisailles. Ok. Représentant Apollon, un dieu romain et grec des maladies et de la guerre et de la guérison, pardon, entre autres. Ok. Alors on a quelqu'un là et c'est qui lui? C'est Lucretia, donc on devait lui parler. Allez, on va se présenter.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend. Julia. She was a good woman. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth.
Normally, I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that genetricum fututo and scratching his eyes out. Then you'd better get me that silphium quickly, hadn't you?
Ok, alors elle a été empoisonnée et donc elle doit être morte elle, hein, par contre. Lulia. Ouais, elle a aucun objet de toute façon.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Alors, on doit aller à 25 mètres. Ok. Donc, on regarde un petit peu la ville quand même. Hein, ce qu'il y a. Alors ça, c'est quoi ça? Résine de silphium. C'est ça qu'il nous fallait. Alors, on peut la voler, mais si on la vole, hein, vous savez ce qui va se passer. Très précieux, capable de soigner diverses afflictions. Ok, donc on va le poser. Alors toi, Decius, devrait revenir plus tard pour lui parler. Ok.
Hey Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Decius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city.
Verrouillé.
We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Obtenir un arc. D'accord. Et j'imagine que quand on aura l'arc, il nous donnera la résine de silphium. Alors, villa sur l'Aventin à Rome. Chariot à 2 chevaux. Ok. Donc, il achète des esclaves également. Ok, bon, là-dedans, il n'y a rien. Hein. Que dalle qu'on peut faire.
Whatever's in that grate, salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Decius. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia, but we just have to carry on, don't we? You mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale. All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave, fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing through a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done.
Je suis sûr qu'il a pris la charrette, ce con.
The girl? Weren't you listening? All my valuables or the girl? I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber.
Rien à foutre de la meuf. Ah, l'enfoiré.
No, I dived in after it, of course. Aren't you paying attention? That was a bloody fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin. Thank you, friend. But it turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here. Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii.
1000 deniers, l'enfoiré.
That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years? Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands.
Comme Nevia.
She claimed the statues were whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this silphium or not? Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us? Certainly. It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk. Thank you, friend. I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking. Very well. Another time.
Ok. Alors si je lui trouve un arc, peut-être que ça va nous aider. Et on pourra prendre la résine de silphium qu'elle a. On en aurait besoin. Et le fabricant d'arcs, je crois que c'était celui d'en face, il parlait tout à l'heure à lui.
Greetings and salutations. Greetings. I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail? And now you have me more intrigued than before. But since it appears you do not wish to share, I will wait until we are better friends. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps? My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop.
Ah, c'est un tailleur, d'accord, faut qu'il s'occupe pas des arcs hein, pour l'instant.
Anything you like. Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate. Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act, lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The golden rule has merely brought it into focus. That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus.
Tout le monde veut voter pour lui. Hein.
Incroyable. From Domitius if I voted the wrong way. But of course. Shh! Not so loud! What are you playing at? Have you not been told about the last attempt? Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me. Ah, it is a long story. Aha, you are witty. I like that. Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out. They have! I am getting to that. There was an attempt, made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place. And so I say, it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Ok.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Donc ça c'est le tailleur. Celui qui faisait les arcs là, j'ai pas trop compris pourquoi il parlait à quelqu'un tout à l'heure. Ou alors c'est lui. Ah bah ça ressemblerait déjà plus à une forge là.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in there, it has to be important. This area is private. Please leave.
Là, il a des deniers, d'accord. Oh, c'est quoi ça? Note accusatrice. Virgile, je sais qui vous êtes et ce que vous voulez. Abandonnez cette voie avant que vos péchés nous condamnent tous à d'atroces souffrances. Ok, ça c'est plutôt intéressant comme note. Donc pourquoi en fait il a reçu ça comme note?
Ah, a new face.
On va essayer d'en apprendre plus sur ce perso.
To a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. You arrived on a sad day, friend. What with Julia's death? I wish we could have met under better circumstances. Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome.
C'est un architecte.
That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people, that kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek. Well, yes, that could be the reason. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell. Gladly. Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering, with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas. And the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake, and allows us to fish and farm. Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it.
Ok, donc nouvel indice, laissez couler. D'accord.
You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know.
Ok.
Of course. Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. And while it's all a bit vague, at least he has a vision. My vote isn't for sale, if that's what you're asking. Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company. Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world, with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least, I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong. It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists. Strange bunch. They insist there's only one God, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating,
Ok.
eventually
On
my
en apprend de
secret
plus en plus
admirer
sur le
is
jeu.
going to cross a line and break the
Donc le
golden
temps que ça
rule.
se mette en place, hein, c'est un petit peu long les gars, mais après je pense qu'il va y avoir quelques interactions assez sympas.
What? Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't
Le
hurt or
pêcheur,
humiliate them.
trouver un moyen de
I
mettre un
suspect
terme
they're just
au harcèlement
confused.
de Virgile. Ok. Alors, on verra après, plus tard.
Some people say it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me, like it's distinctly human. I mean, once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you? Good. Then I hope you'll agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power. And it seems leaving may not be an option. Good question. It's best if I say no more, but I hope you'll give it some thought. You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I'd tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the golden rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway. Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Noviomagus, and learned to expect a bit of hostility. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans. Nice to talk to you.
Ok, bon, je sais pas si c'est vraiment le mauvais bougre, hein, pourtant. C'est pas parce qu'il a reçu des menaces. Là, c'est qui, lui?
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step. Can't talk long. Got to stay sharp, but family's from Solution on Tigris, Babylon province. But I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions, the 6th, the one they call Ironclads. Same way as everyone else. Because we're all in grave danger. Is it not obvious? Magistrate made me toss it in the chasm. Stupid. Going to have to improvise now. If you were dealing with what I am, you wouldn't be either. None of your business.
Make sure you stay away from
Try
the
to get
engine
some
room.
coming through.
It's going to collapse at any moment.
If we have to. Meliodas. Not sure I trust Sentius. Couldn't even protect his daughter in a city without sin. How's he going to protect us? No. I'll tell you this much. I hate the fact that my survival depends on the common
Ça, c'est
sense
sûr.
of other people.
Je suis tout à fait d'accord avec lui.
Then you know what I'm talking about. I mean, all these people just bumble along like nothing's wrong. While we're one bad decision away from being wiped out. Like the last lot of people who lived here. Seems like I'm the only one ready for what's coming. Whatever that is. And when it hits, it's everyone for themselves. You've been warned. I don't know. But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are watching us when we're not looking? Like they're waiting for something. I don't like it. Of course I am. If I did, do you think we'd be having this conversation? Whatever.
Ok. Donc on aura visité un petit peu tout le forum là ici. Prochaine étape, on essaiera de visiter un petit peu plus par là. On verra ce qui se passe. Ah, il y a une petite cinématique qui s'est passée.
You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule.
Affronter l'homme armé qui pénètre dans la cité. Ah bah j'ai pas d'arme moi.
None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise.
Ok.
Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over.
Alors une voix m'a dit, n'entrez pas là-dedans.
What? Why? All right, fine. Come and find me in my bakery instead. Please be careful.
Ok, c'est la boulangère. Très bien.
Fabia, but now's not the time.
Fabia. Ok. Ah, est-ce que je peux lui reparler? J'ai des questions encore à lui poser.
Did you stop him? What are you waiting for?
Ok, alors je sais pas où est-ce qu'il faut aller. On va déjà sauvegarder. Et je pense qu'on va s'arrêter là. De toute façon, l'épisode a déjà duré 1h30 quasiment. Donc on va s'arrêter là les gars parce que l'épisode a quand même duré 1h30. Donc on verra la suite hein, bien sûr. J'espère que ce jeu vous aura plu. Et puis bah c'est assez intriguant. Il y a pas mal de quêtes en cours. Et une quête va nous ramener à une autre en fait. Et ainsi de suite. Donc c'est vraiment bien foutu l'histoire. On sait pas trop qui est le méchant en fait. Donc là par exemple j'imagine qu'on va récupérer son arc. Et après on pourra le donner au mec. Pour avoir son élixir là de Sylphium. Donc je pense que c'est comme ça que ça va se passer là, dans le prochain épisode. Donc j'espère que vous aurez aimé. Merci à vous de m'avoir suivi. N'oubliez pas les likes, de vous abonner à la chaîne. Et je vous dis à bientôt. C'était Praetorians. Allez, bye bye.